Welcome to Unleashing Happiness, the podcast where I teach you how to change your mindset, change your habits, and actually change your life. Hi, and welcome to Unleashing Happiness. I'm your host, Cecilia Hendricks, and I'm so excited because if you listened to the episode last week, I shared that I was getting started on what's called a 7-day mental diet. And a really quick recap of this 7-day mental diet is that essentially you spend 7 days really paying attention to what you are thinking about, the kind of thoughts that you're entertaining, where your mind is dwelling, and you catch yourself so that you don't continue in those thoughts. So essentially you realize when you're in those moments that your mind is essentially going down a path that it should not be going or that you don't want it to go. And you reframe your thoughts to be more in alignment with the person that you want to be and the attention that you want to give to whatever desired outcome it is that you're working towards. So my 7-day mental diet went phenomenal. This is actually probably one of the better ones. Actually, I'll take that back. I know for a fact this was the best mental diet that I've ever done. I usually tend to struggle, and instead this time I made sure to really put effort into making sure that I was paying attention to what I was doing, and also that I was being very smart about my processes. So I really took the tools that I've learned with like emotional intelligence, how to reframe my mind, how to focus on the things that I want to focus on, and made sure that I had a process in place for when I would maybe have a struggle with the thoughts that I was thinking. And it went phenomenally better than anything I've ever done before. And there was a few things that this made me realize. And the first is being that taking tools from a teacher like Neville Goddard, the law of assumption, the law of attraction, and placing it into some science-backed tools of ways to build new habits, to make sure that you're leaning into how to regulate your emotions, that you're becoming more emotionally intelligent, is really the key to ensuring that you are able to be successful with your mind, the mental attention that you're giving to things, the focus that you're putting into things, and getting this desired outcome. So using these tools from like a law of assumption and pairing them with something that is teaching you how to create new habits and how to reframe your routines is phenomenal. And end of story. I showed myself yet again that by doing this, I was able to be more successful in the things that I wanted to be successful with. So a few ways that I did that with this mental diet was setting up a plan to say, when X happens, I'm going to do Y. So it was like, hey, when this happens and I catch myself in a thought process that I would prefer not to be in, or that's not aligned with the person that I want to be, with this ideal life that I want to lead, I'm going to go ahead and do these kind of activities to move my mind. And I've got other episodes on like dealing with unwanted thoughts and leaning into your emotional intelligence. But a couple of those were, one, making sure that I got really curious about why I was thinking that. Is it something that I even believe? Is it something that I want to continue to believe? Do I really feel like this is the right way that I want to put my attention? And a lot of times those questions were able to reframe my mind away from whatever the cycle was that I was falling into. And then the second thing was to make sure that I got up and got more physical activity. The more that I'm doing things for myself within my day, the less likely I am to struggle with unwanted thoughts because I'm not sitting idle. I'm focused on my own hobbies. I'm doing daily joys for myself. I'm getting physical activity. I'm spending more time outside. I'm reading. My brain has something to do that is not to continually recycle doom and gloom thoughts throughout my head. And it makes all of the difference. And that's why so much of everything you do with this is really making sure that you put your focus where it needs to be and that you start to pay attention to yourself and the way that you're treating yourself and the things that you're doing for yourself. Because the more that you're doing that, you don't have time to worry about this other stuff. You've got it out there. You're doing the techniques to focus on it. You're doing your meditation. You have your affirmations. You've got all this other stuff to make you feel wonderful. And so when you're busy, you can't put the time into being concerned over what's working or what's not working, because you are building this ideal life throughout the habits that you're doing. I like to think of it that every single day, the habits that I choose to continue with, the routines that I choose to continue falling into, they're confirming to me who I am. They're constantly telling me over and over, yes, this is the identity that you hold. This is the person that you are. So if you want to improve your life, you have to improve your habits. You need to have habits that are aligned to this person that you want to become, or this person that emulates the things that you want to be and have in life. You can't continue to be in the same cycle of thoughts and physical activity that you are now and actually have a different life that produces different results for you. So if you choose to go into doing a 7-day mental diet, I'm going to really recommend that before you jump in, you make a plan for yourself, that you understand what you're going to do if these negative thoughts come up. And here's the thing too, spoiler alert, they're going to come up. It's really about how you manage not dwelling in those moments. What are you going to do so that you have the ability to reframe your thoughts and to move your attention into something else that is more aligned and not in opposition of what you want, like this desired outcome that you're working towards? And part of that is also making sure that you're not just affirming against it, right? So you want to really focus on what you actually want, the ideal, versus just consistently affirming against something. I really cannot recommend this enough, that just confirming against something is usually going to kind of keep you in a cycle of paying attention to this problem that you have. Instead, really outline what it is that you would want ideally and learn how to shift your focus towards those items. And if you end up in a spiral of negative thoughts that you can't get out of, take a couple days off of the mental diet and come back to it at another time. There's no reason to make this stressful. The whole purpose is to not be stressful and how to learn how to relax more into the things that you're looking for, the desires that you have, the focus that you want to have. This is all a lesson in relaxing and allowing things to start to happen versus being stressed out that you're not doing it right or you can't get your mind right. You can always come back to it. You don't need to make it worse for yourself. And that's what I used to do in the past, and I did multiple times, and it was very frustrating. And that's why this time I wanted to use the tools that I have and that I've learned and that I'm starting to share out with, others that I'm working with to show you how to actually bring yourself back, how to make this a relaxing process where you can start to focus on the things that are important to you and that you actually want to have in your life and this ideal that you would like to lead. And so some of that comes back to making sure that you're increasing kind of your self-confidence. And that may seem like, well, wait a minute, why does self-confidence have anything to do with my personal mental diet and the things that I'm focusing on? But really what it comes down to is that the more you feel confident, not only in yourself as a human, but in the things that you're doing, like you're confident in the process that you're following. You're confident that when you tell yourself you're going to do something, you're actually going to do it. You're going to follow through. You're going to keep the promises to yourself. That allows you to continue with a process, even if you're not automatically seeing an end result, because you're building that confidence. So essentially that faith that by doing this, you're going to have the outcome that you're looking for. You're going to end up getting what it is that you're really seeking, and you're going to have that desired outcome because you know that this process works in the way that you want it to work. And then some of that is also confidence in yourself. When you tell yourself that you're going to do something, you need to have that faith and that confidence in yourself that you're going to follow through with it. If I always had a friend who told me that they were going to meet me for coffee and I waited for them at the coffee shop and they didn't show up, and then I go home and they're like, I'm really sorry. I just couldn't get myself out of bed today, but I'll do it tomorrow. You meet me for coffee tomorrow. And then I show up to the coffee shop and they don't show up yet again. And then they call me and they say, I'm so sorry. I just wanted to sit and watch Netflix instead, and I didn't get around to getting to the coffee shop. At some point, I'm going to stop believing that what they say is truth. I'm not going to have faith in them, that they're going to show up for me, that they're going to be there for me, that they're going to provide for me. And so therefore, I end up not having the confidence in them that they're going to be the type of friend to me that I really need. And this goes both ways. You can do that to yourself. If you're constantly telling yourself that you're going to start a new routine, or you're going to do something different, or you're not going to do something, and then you end up doing it anyways, you're just letting yourself down. Even subconsciously, you are telling yourself that you're not the type of person that follows through and that you don't keep your promises to yourself. So the reason to break this down into a much smaller method and a much smaller process and really focus on these little things is so that you can say, no, I do show up. And this can be as simple, if you wanted to start a workout routine in the morning, you could say, I'm going to start putting on my workout clothes before 7 o'clock in the morning. And that's it. You don't actually need to do the workout. You just need to spend a week putting on your workout clothes before 7 o'clock in the morning. And you can do this with anything. If you want to stop smoking, you can tell yourself, I'm not going to have a cigarette until 7 o'clock in the morning. And let's say that you wake up at 5. That's giving yourself 2 hours that you're going to delay this. You can do it with the way that you want to eat. Okay. If you are saying that you would like to eat healthier, then you can start super small by adding 1 carrot to your dinner. Every night, I'm going to have a singular carrot with dinner. And then you have that 1 carrot. You can really break this down into these really small, tiny, actionable changes, because the more that you do that, the more you're building your confidence in yourself. You're saying, I show up, and you're also making it manageable. This is part of why I love the daily list of joys and adding these to your life. Because when you have something that you're looking forward to and you tell yourself, I'm going to do 1 thing of joy for myself. I'm going to pay attention to it and I'm going to do it. And if that 1 thing is calling a friend for 5 minutes, if that 1 thing is painting your toenails, if that 1 thing is drinking your cup of coffee while it's quiet, that 1 thing is sitting out in the sunshine, brushing your teeth, washing your hair, brushing your hair, any of that, it's all a starting point for you to start building the confidence in yourself. And you should reward that behavior. You should really set up something that you're telling yourself every day. Dang, go me. Like, I did a really good job today. I said I was going to put on my workout clothes before 7 a.m. And this entire week, I've actually followed through and gotten that done. And you should feel good about that. We need to stop thinking everything has to be so big. Not everything has to be so big. And that's actually the easiest way to get burnt out. So when you're looking at who you want to be ideally, and you're looking at the life changes that you want to make, what are some of the very small changes that you can do? And here's how it still ties into a law of assumption or law of attraction. You are confirming to yourself each day that you are the type of person who does this thing or has this item by doing these small changes. So subconsciously, if you wanted to get into better shape and you woke up and you put on your workout clothes before 7 a.m., you now are confirming to yourself that you are someone who focuses on their physical health. And that's all you need to start, is these little changes to your daily routines to begin confirming to yourself who you actually are. So remember, when you look at your day and the way that you're spending it and the routines that you're falling into, remember that any of those are confirming to you, either consciously or subconsciously, which is more important, the subconsciously piece, of who you are. So whether you're waking up and you are, upset with the world and you're mentally arguing with your boss and you are disappointed in your partner and your friends don't show up the way that you want them to, you're constantly confirming to yourself that this is the person that you are. You are constantly reconfirming to yourself that this is the life that you lead. And so when you really pay attention then to instead waking up and focusing on something good and thinking about how wonderful the day is and how great it's going to be because you've got this daily list of joys that you're going to do, and your workout clothes are actually set up for you so that you can get up and get dressed. Now you're confirming to yourself that you are actually somebody different. Your identity is actually different in this moment because of the focus that you're putting into your own routines. And it just needs to start with a tiny bit of belief. Even if it is the tiniest little piece of belief, that's what we're going to start with, is that the belief that by you following the things that I'm teaching and the things that I'm sharing, you can actually create a life that you truly love the same way that others are creating a life that they truly love. I cannot reiterate enough how much success myself has had and others that I'm sharing this with have had. But you really need to start with the belief, even if it's so tiny that you're just like, all right, I'm going to try this for a week and we'll see what happens. But by putting these small changes into place and having the belief that you are doing something for yourself, and that is something to be rewarded and to be celebrated, you are well on your way to having this really wonderful life that you're able to have these desired outcomes that you're looking for. And if you're looking for something like super specific, like you either are looking for a certain type of relationship or you want to have your body in better shape and you're looking for weight loss, I'm telling you, this all works exactly the same. So this is not just to give you a general feeling of well-being. You can actually use these same tips and tricks and the same process to get like an actual specific item, because you are becoming the person who has that item or has that type of life or has that type of relationship. And so when you really think about it like that, you'll still break it down into the exact same way. If I am someone who has that kind of life, or I have this specific item, what would my day look like? What kind of things would I be doing? Where would my mental well-being be? Like, where would my focus be? How would I pay attention to things? How would I feel when I went to bed? So I'm going to, again, remind you of those questions that I've shared in quite a bit of my content, but there's some questions to ask yourself. One, if you knew without a doubt you were going to die 1 year from today, what would you start doing? If you knew without a doubt that in 1 year from today you were going to die, what would you stop doing? And what is stopping you from doing those things right now? Why are you not doing them? Are you scared? Do you think that you won't be able to? Are you concerned that too much of your life has passed and that you're too late? Because here's the other thing, that year is going to pass regardless. So if you think that you're too late to get something started now, imagine how you're going to feel 1 year from now. And sometimes that may come across kind of cheesy, but it's true. Like, this time is still going to pass. If you're 40 years old and there's something that you want to do now, but you're concerned that you're kind of past your prime and you're not able to do it, well, how are you going to feel in 20 years? In 20 years, when you're 60, are you going to look back and be like, yeah, that was right. I'm so happy that I didn't do that because now all this time has passed and I still haven't done it. And I really wish I would have. And you're going to feel like you're in the same boat, but I'm still now even more too late. And you're not. You're never too late. You can redesign your life, recreate who you are, reshape your identity, the way that you live your life, the way that you look at the world, your perceptions, your relationships, your friendships, your career, all of it at any point that you want to. Just don't wait until it's actually too late because you have a limit on the life that you have left, and it's a concrete limit on that life that you have left. And then the last one is definitely one of my favorites. How do you want to feel when you go to bed tonight? Are the actions and the routines and the habits that you're doing right now aligned with how you'd like to feel when you go to sleep tonight? If you're a follower of Neville Goddard, he always talks about making sure that you're in the feeling of the wish fulfilled before you go into sleep, to carry that feeling into sleep with you. So imagine if throughout your day, you had focused on your habits and your routines and your identity and the way that you're presenting yourself and your true I am, saying, I am this person. I am that. I am doing XYZ. And you were able to take that into bed with you, you would automatically have those feelings there for you. And then because you were taking care of yourself with your daily joys, you would have the gratitude to feel so amazing about the life that you're living and the way that you're taking care of yourself. And because you're including the self-love and the self-care and recognizing the things about yourself that you appreciate and that are really freaking wonderful, then you also feel good about yourself. And you feel that you're deserving. Because you are absolutely 110% deserving to live a life that you absolutely love. So exciting. If you can't tell, I get very hyped up about this because I really found myself in a position where I had to feel like this stuff was available to me. And I went in cycles and cycles and cycles and circles and circles and circles where I was like, why is this not working in the way that I want it to? And then I just used my logical mind and kind of my analytical mind to break it up in my list loving line. I do love a good list, and break it up into like these step-by-step process that I could follow to actually become this person. Like what would say to me that I was this person? And the success that comes along with that and the way that I feel about myself and my life is so phenomenal now. And it's so huge and it's been so fantastic. And I just really want to share it with everybody. And I do want to spend some time just to share also that I have launched a course on creating a life that you love. It takes all of this and puts it into a very clear step-by-step actual transformational process with a journal, a workbook, and live Q&A sessions that you can join. I'll make sure that I put that down in the show notes. And then the other thing that I'm getting ready to launch, once this is out there, I'll have within the next probably a month or so, some courses that are much more specific. So if you're looking for romance in your life or to improve a romantic relationship, or you're looking for something specific around like money, etc., I am currently designing very specific courses around those type of topics. And I'm super excited. I'm sure you're not surprised by that, but I'm super excited because there is just so much that you're able to do. But sometimes you kind of need somebody to put it out in a step-by-step process that's very easy to follow with a workbook. It's literally like having somebody hold your hand to walk through this. And then of course the live Q&A sessions are phenomenal where a group of people can get together. Sometimes there's only one person that shows up. And so then you get, one-on-one session and we can talk about whatever you want and whatever concerns that you're having so that we can make sure that you also get to live a life that you truly love. I hope that you have a phenomenal rest of your week. I am very excited to come back. I will be back on Monday with my Moods Monday. So I'm going to start sharing some motivational content to kind of get your week kicked off on the right foot. So I certainly hope that you will join me on Monday, and I will talk to you soon. If you haven't already, please definitely subscribe so that you do not miss any of my episodes. They'll be automatically updated to your phone. You can find the podcast on either YouTube or any channel that you really use, the major and the minor ones. And I look forward to being back. Have a great rest of your week. Thank you again for joining me today. If you'd like to learn more about all things going on with me, go ahead and visit my website at ceciliahendricks.com.